Steve, yes, and he's spotted one behind the snow over here. We feel he's going to come walking out this direction here shortly.
Okay.
I don't know how shortly, so we need to just sit up and wait.
All right. You think he'll be coming down around there?
The path would be somewhere over here to the left.
Time and again during the week in north-central Kazakhstan, Yasan has led the hunters to the sound of a roaring stag. Now, instead of stalking through the noisy birch and pine forest, they've set up on the edge of a small clearing, waiting to see if the stag will come to them.
Go through, get into the big woods.
McKelvain's partner in this quest for Maral Stag is outfitter George Savage, owner of Maryland-based Eurasian Expeditions. Savage's specialty is organizing hunts in Russia and in former Soviet republics such as Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan. Savage holds an advanced degree in Russian languages, which makes him an invaluable companion, especially when you need to discuss hunting strategies with your guide.
Сколько у вас работает в вашей команде?
Трое.
Трое.
The minutes go by, and after half an hour, everyone realizes that the stag isn't budging. This has been the story of the hunt up till now. Maral stag may look a lot like American elk, but that doesn't mean they always act like them. Then again, American elk don't always act the way you expect them to either.
It's like a symphony going on in the woods.
We saw a dandy. I think the second one we saw was a real dandy when
Yeah.
it came in. So they're here, and sometimes you hold out too long,
Yeah.
and you're not going to get one as nice as you could have gotten early in the trip.
I've done that many times.
And that's part of hunting.
Knowing when to take the shot.
Before their departure for Kazakhstan, Savage told McKelvain to expect Maral country to resemble upstate New York or other wooded parts of our Northeast. This got McKelvain on the phone to his friends at Realtree Camouflage to see what they recommended. And for them, the choice was Advantage Max 4 HD. Unless you're hunting in snow, you should choose a camo pattern as dark as the darkest background in the terrain you're hunting. Yasan's clothing, for example, works fine in brown grass, but put him against the dark trees and he stands out like a disco ball. McKelvain and Savage, on the other hand, practically disappear in their Advantage Max 4.
9:15 now. My experience is they'll bugle up to 11, especially in an overcast day like this.
It's tough in these thick woods, you know. They can see you way before you can see them a lot of times.
You better get your gun ready.
I can't tell exactly how big he is. I mean, he's you know, good and big, but I don't know what he's got on him. Quite what we're looking for.
This is by far the biggest stag McKelvain's seen so far on the hunt, and it takes close examination by Yasan through his binoculars to decide that it's not large enough for McKelvain to go after.
He was coming right in, but I guess he just wasn't quite looking.
No, it was a young stag, but we had him right next to us. He was coming in through the trees, and you sense smiling because he came in so close. But there's several more stags right out here. We're going to go try to stalk them right now.
Okay.
Говорят, всегда спрашивают, а где самый большой морал? Помнишь, я тебе говорю, самый большой.
All right. Well, they're bugling all over. Let's go.
Пошли. That means let's get rolling.
Yasan's expecting a cold snap to move through tonight and tomorrow, putting the stags much more in the mood for love and much easier to stalk. Naturalists now consider the stag, the wapiti, and the red deer to be the same species, so they give them the same scientific name, Cervus elaphus. The area around eastern Kazakhstan is believed to be where the species originated. Spreading west as much as 700,000 years ago, it became what we recognize as the European red deer. Others of its kind moved east, evolving into the Asian wapiti. And when it migrated into North America as little as 11,000 years ago, this deer turned into our own elk. Eventually, humans stepped in and introduced it around the world. Today, you can hunt red deer in Argentina or in Chile, New Zealand, Australia, the US, and even in South Africa. Hunters have always been more or less nomads. Humans populated the world by following game herds into foreign lands. Some hunters are rightly happy to hunt the same patch of whitetail woods for their entire lifetimes. But others have to see what kind of game, big and small, lives over the next ridge, and the ridge beyond that. More often than not, hunting is the best way to get to know a distant country. Call it wanderlust, call it a natural instinct to see new horizons. Whatever it is, it's led Benelli's Steve McKelvain to Canada's Arctic to hunt caribou, South America for red deer, and many times to sub-Saharan Africa on that roaming spiritual journey we know as safari. And now it's brought him 12 time zones from his Virginia home to the taiga and the Maral Stag and the culture of Kazakhstan.
Like water.
It took 13 hours in the air from McKelvain and Sevich to reach Kazakhstan's capital city, Astana. New money from gas and oil development and freedom from the old Soviet Union has made Astana, with its 3 million inhabitants, one of the most modern, vibrant cities in Northwest Asia. It has all the advantages of any present-day metropolis, including a construction boom, cafes, shopping malls, and traffic jams. A 5-hour drive from Astana, though, carries you back 100 years. During his hunt, McKelvain's home in Temeritau is a traditional hotel down the block from the bustling fish market. The catch of the day is a deliciously sweet smoked fish from the waters of nearby Lake Tengiz. From lakes to the 23,000-foot peak of Khan Tengiri Shengi, Kazakhstan's geography is as diverse as its multi-ethnic population. The nation sprawls west from the Tian Shan and Altai Mountains of China to the rolling plains or steppes of Russia. Here in its center, though, in the taiga, is where the greatest populations of Kazakhstan's big game, roe deer, wolves, and the Maral stags among them, have lived for thousands of years of evolutionary history.
A bull should be coming out to protect them. If there's a bull next to him, he normally would be out there right now at this time of year. Be protective. But there's hinds there, no bull. Doesn't make sense. There's some hinds off on the left side earlier.
Where do you see them? Do you see the ones on the left?
The success of a hunt, particularly in a distant country like Kazakhstan, can hinge on the skill and effort of the guide. Yasan and his team, including Sergey and Vladimir, are pushing hard for McKelvain and Sevich, covering a hunting area the size of Rhode Island. They are piling up the miles, some of them in the comfort of a Hummer, which might be the only one in Kazakhstan.
It comes out right now.
But as Yasan says, he's never killed a stag while at the wheel of a fire engine red truck. Maral hunting is like elk hunting at home or hunting anywhere. There's no substitute for getting out on foot to hike and scout in glass. The fall light is going when Sevich spots a stag silhouetted on a tall ridge.
I can't tell exactly how big he is. I mean, he's good and big, but I don't know what he's got on him.
It's standing at 400 meters. Just outside the range, McKelvain feels comfortable taking a shot at with his Benelli R1 with the Comfortech system. As McKelvain watches, the stag, oblivious to the hunters below, turns and heads uphill, probably to gather a harem of hinds the hunters and guides caught sight of earlier.
Russian winter coming early.
Yasan has proven to be an accurate prophet of the weather. And the next morning, the second to last day of the hunt, brings a frigid mixture of rain and snow.
Russian winter seems to have set in on us.
Yeah, I think you said it was going to be just in the high 30s to 60s, I believe.
Yeah, that was a prognosis. It was when we got here.
Hunters and guides try to find what shelter they can under a small outcrop of rock. The terrain McKelvain and Sevich are hunting is known as the boreal forest. The Russians call it Taiga, a word meaning Lord of the Little Sticks. The rain and snow comes to a halt and the temperature drops. It's the perfect conditions for sparking the rut. Soon enough, Yasan and the hunters come across a new scrape and an even fresher rub, both made today. McKelvain and Sevich feel their hunting energy rise. 500 meters ahead of them, they see an open park in the taiga that they'd checked earlier in the week. Then it'd been empty. Today, though, over 50 hinds, a number of small stags, and one genuine trophy stag have taken up residence. By Sevich's trained estimate, the big male is a 15-pointer. No question this time, they have to get into shooting range of this marvelous Maral.
Okay, there's several bulls out there, as you've seen. Now, one of them is going to be up to you now. You're going to have to crawl up in here, pick them out, take a good look. One of them's got 7 on a side. Don't. Okay, here, take a quick look. Here he is. There he is, too.
Okay.
Head up.
All right, I got him.
Okay.
He's the one chasing all the cows around.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
There are too many pairs of eyes in the park, so while Yasan and Sevich hang back, McKelvain sneaks his way in solo.
Take up this one. Stay.
Crawling the last 100 meters to put himself within 300 meters of the stag. The one thing going in McKelvain's favor is that the big stag's thermostat's set on high, and it's more intent on chasing hinds than it is watching out for any approaching threats. From his awkward angle, McKelvain sends his first shot a little high and forward.
Go, get your gun on him, Steve. Get your gun on him. Come on.
His R1 semi-auto, though, chambered in 300 Win Mag, gives him an instant and reliable second shot, anchoring the stag before it can vanish with the rest of the herd.
He's down. Ну давай, проверь оценку. I'm telling you, son, let's see how good his judging is on his track.
Yeah.
Looks good from here.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, good.
Hey.
Okay?
Oh. Ты правильно почитал?
Да, вот, да.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 8 and 7. The rack on these are just incredibly massive. I mean, especially in the palmation and the crown, and even on these eye guards. I mean, it's got mass all the way to the tip.
It's quite an impressive set of antlers on here. I don't know. What do you think of this hunt, Steve?
It's been pretty exciting. You know, I didn't know what to expect, but it has been quite an adventure. The whole, just being in Kazakhstan and just seeing all the animals and all the roe deer too. I can't wait to get on the roe deer now.